kid with a French last name, Monceau or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Let's talk about Star Pizza.
Let's talk about Star Pizza. Cougars win 62-58, come from behind, down 7 with 8.5 minutes to play, and then you outscore them, I believe, 21-10. That ain't bad. That's adequate. Brad,
Heck no.
thoughts?
That's a big boy win right there. I mean, that's experience. That's dudes walking around with a big giant sack and doing what you got to do to win. It's not always going to be pretty. And you know, the thing that we need to understand is U of H makes this shit look easy. Everybody else knows how hard this is to do. Okay? Not everybody plays like this. Not everybody can win like this. If you're just feeling relief in games like this, you need to check yourself. You should be extremely happy because these are hard to do. Maybe it's just bias. Because I remember the Lute Olson days with Arizona, and Arizona used to be a regular season juggernaut. And McHale Center was the toughest place to play in the country. You know how we had the 33 game home winning streak or whatever? In my lifetime, Arizona's had a few of those. I mean, nobody walked into McHale Center and had an easy time. If you're going to beat them, you got to do it ugly. And, you know, that's exactly what we did. You know, championship teams step up and play like champions when you need it. And that's exactly what this team did.
I really do think you're up to something when you think that fans get upset like, oh, how could they dare, be down to this team or lose a game like this? You don't win these games. U of H is undefeated in this conference on the road. They're undefeated on the road in this conference since February 3rd of last year. I mean, that's insane. That doesn't happen.
No. I mean, you think of all the years that Kansas dog walked this league. Not many teams have this type of run on the road in this conference.
Just looking at scores across the league, West Virginia and Baylor in overtime. I didn't see that happening at Baylor.
I mean, Baylor struggling. I mean, Iowa State gets in dogfights. Iowa State couldn't win there. It took a miracle to beat them, but they lost.
Houston's 13-1. They lead the conference by 2 games with 7 to play. 6 to play. I'm sorry. You got 6. 3 home games, 3 road games. I mean, you could not be in better position. I don't even know what they call that early seeding bullshit TV show they do. But U of H was a 2 seed in the West, which is fine. You want to be in the West? Go way west.
I believe.
That's fine. Go way west. You want to go west, away from all these Alabamas and Auburns and teams like that, and go way west. That region will be in San Francisco, where the Warriors play, I believe. So that would be great for you. Denver, probably in that first weekend. That's fine. Go do that. This is Tommy Lloyd's 4th or 5th year at Arizona. He has never been 0-2 against any team. But he's 0-2 now against the Houston Cougars. Lost in San Antonio and then lost here. I mean, this was a pretty good win.
This was it felt like, we kept hanging around. It kept hanging around.
Lurking.
They would stretch it out a little bit, and they think that they were starting to pull away. Their fans would start getting excited. We make a couple of stops and make a couple of buckets. We're just hanging there, right? I mean, it like a horse race. You're just stalking. You're just stalking on the outside hip of the horse leading the race. And then as soon as you come down the stretch, you drop the hammer. And once we took the lead, it felt like it just took everything from them. That it's like, God dang it, we've done everything we could possibly do, and these guys won't go away. Being chased by zombies.
I think they did not make a field goal for like 6 minutes.
Yeah,
You just completely dominated. They got to the line a few times, but I mean that they were 8 of 22 in the second half. U of H fans were besides themselves with U of H's shooting in the first half. It wasn't great, but it wasn't like out of this world bad. 35%, 36%. I mean, you shot 50% in the second. That's fine. The three is bad. It was bad all game, frankly.
Yeah.
You hit a couple big ones.
Well,
but
for me, and I'd be interested to hear Galen's take on that. But in the first half, and honestly, through 10 minutes in the second half, so for 30 minutes in this game, we were just standing around watching. It looked like everybody just brought their camping equipment and just decided they're going to hang out and just stand there and then let guys play one-on-one. And then we finally started getting inside a little bit.
Right.
Milos was just wrecking shop with that runner. I mean, it was beautiful. That kid. I've got a couple of critiques with his game, but that's just being, hey, you're going to go from really good to being elite.
Hey, Galen, Brad has some critiques of Milos's game.
What are they?
I don't want to get into the critiques yet, but they're just splitting hairs at this point. I'm just
a
talking
little bit.
How great he played today, and when we needed the offensive spark, he kept us in this ball game, and then ignited things down the stretch. That floater, that running floater, was just beautiful all night long.
Hey, Towns, you know your shit, man. Because in my notes, I just wrote down his aggressiveness, and it looks like, I mean, obviously I know he does, but you can tell the amount of time he's spending watching on film. You can tell it's translating. Because of the reads that he's making, his progressions, like it all looks so seamless. It all looks so smooth. That kid is on his way, man. He looked like he was in full control of our team. Granted, it was an ugly win, and our offensive flow was kind of nasty. I mean, we were playing a top 25 team on the road, but he just looked like he was always poised. He wasn't rattled by the crowd and by the environment. The moment never looked too big for him. Yeah, shout out Los, man. He's on his way for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He had one play, and I think Fran Fraschilla had highlighted it or talked about it, where you could tell where he is truly in the flow. And it was that pick and roll alley-oop to JoJo.
Yeah.
He got him on the lob, but that wasn't a lob just because JoJo was open. He made JoJo open by the pace and the hesitation that he was dangerous enough to pull his or JoJo's man a step up, and that created a lane for him to get to the basket.
And you know, Towns, you can only make plays like that if you're under control, you're playing with pace, and if you're playing with confidence. Because let's say if he was to kind of speed through that progression and speed through that read, he wouldn't have been able, because I know what play you're talking about, he wouldn't have been able to throw JoJo open. But because he was poised, under control, he wasn't rattled, he was able to do that. So it's like, man, he is growing organically. You know, I kind of tip my hat to him because that's a kid that came in with a lot of pressure, and he had some very big shoes to fill. So for him to be able to kind of stick with it and kind of, weather the growing pains, if you will, that shows tremendous mental toughness on his behalf.
Absolutely. Pizza.
Get you some Star Pizza. 3 locations, great people, good food. Support this show and others.
Hey Ryan,
Get
you kind of sound a little shitty.
So do you little bitch. All right, I'll work on that. Back to y'all.
Oh,
man.
I mean, I can't lie though. I'm Arizona, they're a good team. That's a team that we have a recent history with. It always seemed like they were able to capitalize in some degree on our mistakes, and that's a sign of a good team. They play hard, they compete, they got great talent. That environment was crazy, but I think I just want to just kind of highlight how comfortable, if we're not able to get in the paint with our guards, how comfortable I am with J1 being able to make decisions.
Yeah.
Regardless of who he's playing against, he can always create an advantage because he can score it and he can pass it. And that is a great weapon to have. Like that kid, his basketball, like Coach Samson said, his basketball IQ is through the roof.
Yeah, and he needed to be able to do that. He was struggling from the floor a little bit. Just was off just a bit.
Yeah.
I think he got a little bit rushed in there. But he made some shots when he needed to, but he also distributed extremely well. And you've said it a million times. You got to find ways to contribute to wins and make game winning plays.
Yeah. So.
And he stepped up. I mean, dude, you got a guy that we know that has struggled from the line, but man, he stepped up and hit that front end of a 1-and-1 and gave us a 2-possession lead. I mean, that was huge.
I knew that first one was gonna go in. I was unsure about the second one, but I knew for sure the first one was gonna be money.
Yeah, and with 13 seconds left, I mean, I wasn't too disappointed with the second miss just to get the clock going and make them kind of be off a little bit.
For sure.
Okay.
But they made plays. I mean, TA made a huge play when he finally took it to the rack. Nearly got flipped.
What's crazy is at UCF, he missed that free throw.
Yeah.
And at Arizona, he made a little wince, started chewing his gum. I'm like, oh, this is money. He looked too cool up there. He looked too cool in the face of adversity. Cast them both, man. I'm proud of that kid.
Thinking about it, getting dinged on that and having a little bit of stinger or anything like that takes your mind off of what you got to do a little bit, and so you're not just sitting there kind of stewing in the moment and weighing the stakes. You're paying attention to your soreness, and then you got to step up and just hit it. You don't even have to think.
Yeah, but man, Los was by far the stabilizing force for our team. Granted, he made some big shots at crucial moments, but it's just Los was just very steady throughout the game. He looked very comfortable. Like he just looked like he was just cruising in a convertible. Like I'm just riding with the windows down. It's 70 degrees. I got my shades on and it's sunny. Like it's good weather. Like that's what he looked like. Happy for him, man. I feel like I've been very critical of him, but like for him to have these performances in these big games, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's had to drink from the fire hose, and he's coming into his own. He's exactly what we thought he could be, I believe, at this point. At the very beginning of the season, you saw flashes, and I think you even broke down what he was good at and what he struggled at, and he's right where you said he would be.
Yeah.
He was
But I mean-
6 of 8 in the second half.
Yeah, 8 of 12 from the
That's
field,
strong. That's okay.
5 assists, 0
That's all
turnovers.
right. That's all right. He's very cerebral. Like he just, yeah, man. I can talk about him the whole show, but I'm just very proud of his poise, man. That is his gameplay and his aggression, Mr. Make. That's what won us the game.
Absolutely.
Another contributing factor, 2 big free throws from Terrence Arsenault late.
Yeah.
Big free throws. That puts you in a position to work that clock, and you got to be really excited with what you saw. Kelvin went in hard on Terrence after his air ball. Yeah, he did. You could hear it down around the bench, just destroying him. He stared at him for like 6 or 7 seconds before he went after him. But you know what? Those guys know that's coming, and they don't live in fear of it. If they lived in fear of it, they wouldn't be able to respond and do something like you saw today.
Yeah.
Like you've seen all year.
Yeah. But it's just also for Terrence to have the confidence to take that shot. That's just a byproduct. It's like you might as well blame your coaching staff. They're the ones giving them confidence. Like, it's like our kids, they put in tons and tons of work, man. So it's like, even though he airballed, when he shot it, I thought it was money because of the conviction that he shot it with. But obviously it was an airball, but he didn't let that deter him from making 2 free throws in a row. So that's tough.
It was a good shot selection. There was nothing wrong with taking that shot.
Yeah.
It just
Well, the reason why he got ripped is because he took that shot with 18 seconds left on the shot clock, and we just got the ball, and he jacked it up from there. Jacking it up from there is not the issue. It's when it was shot. He could have got a better shot. That wasn't the shot you take with that much time on the shot clock.
I mean, yeah, I agree, but he caught it in a rhythm and in confidence, and he shot. When you miss long, it's not because you're afraid to miss. So like he missed that mug, he missed it long.
Well, I mean that's the exact same thing he did in the first half whenever he banked it off the center of the backboard. Like, God damn, dude, that wasn't even close. You got lucky it was straight on.
Like Coach Samson said, son, that scoreboard keeps track of points.
At some point, the Cougars have to have an adult conversation with their offense. Maybe I'm spoiled.
Well,
No. I got this one. They're 12-1 in the conference. They're 12-1 in the conference. Back to you, Galen. Oh, he's gone. All right, he can't even handle this shit.
Yes,
I understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, it's about winning and losing, and I mean,
it's an adult conversation about the offense. You beat the number 13th ranked team at their crib. Then they need to have a talk about their offense. It's like
they really do.
Yeah, the objective is to score more points than who you're playing against. Bottom line, whether it's pretty or ugly, it's like I'm not sure how people thought this game was supposed to go. Like, you won the game. It was ugly. You were able to overcome guys not shooting the ball well from the field. Granted, we got good looks that guys normally make. So it happens. The ball isn't going to go in every time you play. And it's like you got to find a way to win when you're not able to make shots. So that's what we did. I don't see what the problem is, personally.
Well, because
what do you think the odds would have?
Go ahead.
What would the odds have been on this team being 28-4 in the Big 12? 10,000 to 1?
Listen,
5,000 to 1?
I wouldn't.
No, of course not.
There's nobody who believes in these guys more. I wouldn't have bet that.
No.
So it's like, how can you? I've said this before, Ryan. I'm gonna say it again. Coach Samson has this saying, and it's, son, Miss America's walking by, and you're worried about the bunion on her foot.
I have heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus on Miss America.
At this point, it's not even a bunion. At this point, her ankles are ashy.
And that can be changed.
Exactly.
Give Miss America some cocoa butter. She'll be all right.
But I mean, the thing is that we weren't shooting the ball well in the first half. Okay. But we ended up at 43% from the floor, 29% from three. That wasn't pretty. And 78% from the line. Those aren't bad. I'll take 43% from the floor most any game.
Yeah. That's some good shit right there.
Look me in the camera right there,
I
baby.
just think
Look
that
me in the
I think
camera.
that we have
Miss America some cocoa butter. Hey, I just want people to think about. Let's put this in perspective. I may be a little biased, but winning is definitely hard. But what if you were only able to win if you made shots? And on days that you didn't shoot the ball, Steph Curry has went 0 for 11. So the best shooter ever didn't make a three in the game. So what if the only way you could win was if you make shots, and every time you didn't, you lost? What
Well,
would
you
our
would be
record be?
4-28 instead of 28-4.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of beautiful
what
offensive
we
days.
do, Ryan? We have a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking going on.
Yeah.
The game was played Sunday, and you're watching in hindsight. Monday morning quarterbacking.
I think it goes beyond that. I really it's baffling because I mean we're making this look too easy. I mean what we've done in the Big 12 to this point. We could lose every game going forward, but to this point, we didn't do this in the American. We didn't run the conference like this in the
That's
American.
what I'm
We lost
saying.
more in the American than we're losing right now.
Shit tells you a lot about the American.
I mean, that's where we're. I mean, if you told me before the season that you're going to win at Fog Allen and at the McHale Center, I'd say you probably have a two-game lead.
But
with
McHale
6 to
Center,
play.
that's Arizona's gym?
Do I?
Yeah. McHale
Yeah.
Center.
Shit, and at West Virginia.
Yeah. And at UCF. Really everywhere, frankly.
Shit. Drop a pin. We pulling up and we taking over your trap.
I mean, the last time we lost on the road was at TCU, right?
Yeah. No, Kansas last year, February 3rd.
Yeah.
You were 5-3 in the conference then. Things have worked out.
Coach Samson,
everybody. This was a real sticking point with everybody about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But is anybody jumping up and down about a quad one win on the road, and not one of the
Probably not.
not one of the hey, guess what? It's one of those you only
It's
get
a quad one win
because it was a road.
today. Yeah.
Not because it was not just you only get it because of the road. This is a top 15 quad one win on the road.
Yeah. You're 6-3 in
It was a
quad
big
one
deal. Why
games
is
now.
everybody celebrating that now?
No.
When did we become so spoiled as a fan base?
When you left
Last year.
after
It's like we're forgetting where we come from. We're complaining about how we won at Arizona. Let's
We didn't have
hold on, everybody watching, say it with me. We're complaining about how we won at Arizona. This is crazy.
All right, let's take a timeout. We're going to step back. We're going to do a reset. Good win.
Great win.
Great win. Things are going pretty well for the Houston Cougars. And I think it's okay to celebrate that now. You had your, okay, here's the issues, but played pretty well. Here's one more complaint. Ryan, are you ready to rescind that conference winner will have 5 losses take? Not quite yet.
Yeah. Nah,
There are only 6 games to play, so it would be a complete disaster if you ended up 15-5 or
I mean, it could happen.
that's what I'm.
could.
That's
But
just a
but
scary thing about you just never know, man. It was
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
we were very fortunate to weather the storms with some injuries and some key guys missing games because they were very much losable. So it's like, yeah, I wouldn't even say that until there's less than 3 games left and we have 1 loss. That's when
Yeah.
I feel comfortable saying that because it's anybody in this league can beat you on any given night, and we unfortunately are the hunted. So everybody's looking forward to playing us. We're going to see the biggest crowds wherever we go. And our kids, they've been battling through injuries. And granted, everybody else in this conference, but it's like you play 2 games a week for 10 weeks. That's crazy. The travel, is you got every night you go out there you're someone's Super Bowl.
the travel is whooping my ass.
And you just talking to us.
That's it, right. All I'm doing is sitting. I'm also not in a jet, but whatever. I believe you have wrapped up a first round bye in the Big 12 tournament. You will wrap up a second round bye soon, but it's not done yet. So that way you can just go lose on the 3rd day and get out of there, so you can get ready for the tournament. The Monso plan. Huge win today. Go Cougs. Sharp's got to be playing more hurt than we know. I think he had a bad game.
Yeah,
I think
it's a rhythm thing.
they were ready for him,
Yeah.
and they scout too, and that's okay. I was very impressed with some of the things they did to throw U of H off, but you came back, you overcame.
This was Z-Man's first game back, right?
He played against Baylor.
Very good. Okay.
But yeah,
First
so
row.
he came back against Bowl. Yes, correct. He played 25 minutes against Baylor, scored 10, shot 3 of 7, all 7 3-pointers in that game.
Did Malik get dinged up or anything? Or was it just the matchups dictated TA on there?
That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that we were getting hammered on the boards in the first half.
They have Arizona. They always have good positional size.
Yeah.
They always have bigger guards and bigger forwards and big centers too. So I guess that's the Pac-12 way. But yeah, for sure.
How come y'all don't cover the post-game press conferences anymore? Sorry, we come and do this. Apologize. I mean, we're gonna be wrong one way or the other, but we have decided to go faster after the game, which creates a bigger audience, which keeps Galen from wandering off. If we waited till after the post-game press conference, he'd be gone. He'd be at White Castle.
Hey man, y'all
And
are
so-
my guys. Nunca, never. Y'all are my
Be re-
guys.
Reporting from Bojangles.
Ooh.
Opening
Hadn't
in
had that in a
Houston.
while.
Opening all over Houston right now. We're gonna have
Really?
to take a road trip, little field trip, as soon as the season ends.
Where's it opening?
They've got one in Clear Lake. There's one near my mother's house in Tomball. I think there's a few other locations. I took a little car trip with a prominent Houston Chronicle beat writer, no names, from the Phoenix airport to Tucson yesterday, and he told me they had it down in Clear Lake. So
Okay.
apparently it's open.
I
You
really don't
guys
need them
are
opening one near me,
creating-
though.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Dave says you're creating a narrative that doesn't exist. Respectfully, Dave, I own 2 websites that have 1,500 posts on them about this game. Not creating it. It's there.
Yeah, Dave must be new.
No, Dave's been around. Yeah, a little 1,600 posts in the two sites. It's okay. I mean, it's easy to complain during a game, but after a win, especially a win like this on the road, big time game,
When shit was
I think it
ugly.
should be. Yeah, I think it should be a lot more celebratory than what I've
Exactly.
seen.
Yeah, it's like it's harder to win ugly games.
Yeah,
Shit is easy to win a pretty ones.
Uzon
Yeah,
was a beast,
he's a
and he
monster.
was.
See, that's the it's easy to say that it's the championship pedigree, but really it's kind of the Samson way. That's just what this program is that
Two truths
you
can
can
exist.
you can have everything going against you, and a lot of lesser teams would crumble. I mean, look at Kansas. Kansas folds like a cheap suit. Anything that goes against them, they're done. But U of H, I mean, you can go back to when Galen played. This is just what they do. They've learned how to win ugly, because out at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is winning. You don't get points for winning pretty or losing pretty.
And you know, Coach Samson, he used to tell me all the time that when you win, the people around you change and they get accustomed to whatever they get accustomed to. You know, granted, we've been fortunate to have enough success to be able to get 5-star guys, but who we have doesn't change what made Coach Samson who he is. He's still going to coach you hard. He's still going to coach you. You know, our way, unfortunately for some people, we win ugly. And not everybody can do that. So, and that's who he is. So it's like you got to find a way to win, because when you're going against the best of the best, one of the best conferences in college basketball, not every win is going to be pretty. So you got to figure out a way to how to win ugly, and that's what he's figured out. And on days that you make shots, that's what he always says. On days you make shots, we'll blow them out. But when we can't make shots, we're going to still find a way to win.
Yeah, I mean
That has to be a nightmare to prepare for. Like, knowing the team that you're going against, they're not going to quit, whatever the circumstances are.
well,
And just imagine, like the assistant coach who had the scout on Arizona for us. It's like, man, there's so much, the ATOs, the energy, the effort. There's so much shit you got to prepare for, and it's like you can't even. It's not something you can replicate. Like, man, that is a huge advantage for us.
It's if you look at it from an opponent's perspective, it is.
Scary.
We talked about this while you were away, but when you're hitting them with everything that you got and they won't go away, you know, it's demoralizing. Is that you're doing everything you can to put them away, and they just won't go, and then all of a sudden they hit a couple of shots, and it's like, good Lord, they just won't stop. And that's U of H, and that's the calling card. That's the way it's been, you know, since Samson took over. It's just part of it. And now it's paying off. You know, here it is paying off right now. Every single one of the teams in our conference wishes they could win games like this.
In the country, fuck the conference.
Iowa State was in the same situation where J1 was. They had a 1-1 with just a couple of seconds left. They could have iced the game. They missed the front end of a 1-1. Love hits a 50-footer to send it into overtime, and then they got destroyed. You know, it's making that one extra play. It's making that tough play.
No, Towns. Yeah, I just couldn't imagine. Like, I'm out at the club or whatever. Do say something disrespectful, I'll punch him as hard as I could, and then comes back. I'm running. I'm taking off. Like, man, that is a motherfucker. Like, something's wrong with, like, yeah, I mean, something's wrong with me too, but something's wrong with these kids. They don't think that anything could beat them, but that's just when you spend enough time with our coaching staff, shit, even John Houston, especially with Bishop, and you just get this delusional belief in yourself that you can just do anything. Like, it's actually amazing.
Yeah.
Update. My mother says Bojangles is open here. So there you go, Brad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Probably good that
Knew
it's
you
not
would be.
open near me.
Right. I think you covered that. Before we get back into it, I just want to take a moment. Tomorrow night, Jawan Roberts joins us on Talking About Them Cougars. Galen asked for this 2 weeks ago, so
Absolutely.
we got Jawan here. We're gonna ask him why he can't rebound anymore, like what's happened. So tomorrow night, Sunday night, 8 o'clock. I'm coming home after today. I'm flying back to Houston. I'll be at practice tomorrow, and then we'll do the show tomorrow night. I was supposed to stay here through Arizona
What time
State.
is practice tomorrow?
They haven't told us, but it'll probably be 3 or 4.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Cool.
You gonna come?
Probably
Are you in
gonna pull up.
Houston?
Yeah, I am. I'm probably gonna pull up, man. So,
Okay, that means
That's right. Y'all got
that
a
means
week.
go.
Why do y'all get off so long this week?
it's All-Star break.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check that out tomorrow night with Jawan. It'll be pretty good. We appreciate y'all. Ryan, Towns, and Galen. Poor Galen. Going third. How is this
That's
crowd compared to Allen Fieldhouse or at UCF? I don't go to UCF, so I don't really know. This was almost full. There was some corners in the upper deck that were not. It got loud twice, maybe 3 times, but nothing sustained. Not like Allen Fieldhouse at all. But I thought it was just a little underwhelming from what I had kind of been told. But it's still, it's still a good venue. It's still obviously a hard place to play. They're gonna have to replace. They're gonna have to replace the front edges of the rims after U of H just destroyed them for 30 minutes. But everything else
Their fans knew
seems to
what was
be
coming.
okay.
They could feel it.
That's kind of what I think. That it's just there was a dread, and you could hear it, especially when they started missing those free throws in the second half. There is that there's a sound of butt tightening.
Yeah,
and you could hear it.
The momentum, and it was
Yeah.
that happened after LJ hit those two shots.
Yeah.
And I remember the following possession that the kid Brian, he tried to dunk on JoJo, and JoJo went to contest it and blocked it. And it's like,
Yeah.
if he would just let that dunk go by, that crowd would have erupted, and the momentum could have shifted. But he fouled him, and the kid went 1 for 2. It kind of kept them at arm's reach, so to speak. But yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was. You could just kind of feel the butt tight. Yeah, for sure.
And I think it started before that. It was at the start of the second half. They were a little edgy, and then JoJo put on a show for 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, till he picked up that third foul. But he was 3 of 3 and had a couple rebounds, a steal. He was doing everything, and this crowd it got tight. But,
I feel like Arizona's been good for long enough to know who they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Like they're not really a stranger to big games. So it's just, so I felt like they were very much aware of who their opponent was.
But nowhere close to Allen Fieldhouse. Last year was a lot louder than this year, but this year was still the best environment I've seen this year. But it's not close to that. It's just not in the same ballpark. How about a Chris Baldwin take?
Nope.
Nope.
No drama.
Nope. Dealt with that privately. And that's that. Good Cougar crowd at Woodrow's. Tracks for the game. I think U of H was going to have a on-campus watch party, and they tweeted out an hour before the game, "Yeah, we ain't got it. It ain't happening."
Saw on Twitter a couple of people pulling some Star Pizza over there.
There you go. I like it.
was like, that's a
So
pretty
excited.
damn good idea.
The UCF student section is very animated, great vibe going. I thought BYU is the best student section I have seen in 2 years in this conference. I'm missing Arizona State. That would be, I think, 14 or 15 of 16 places I'd seen. I have not been to Utah and Arizona State. I'm going to miss Arizona State. Not going to Utah this year. It was the sound of butt tightening, Roy Frenchie. Accurate. You just know what that sound is.
Ooh, Colorado's about to get their first in conference.
Who is?
Are they really?
Colorado,
Who they got?
UCF. Ooh, Johnny
Damn.
Dawkins.
Where's it at? Where's it at?
Colorado.
At Colorado. They were a 1.5 favorite. That's wild.
Central Florida.
U of H. No, Colorado.
Man,
Was a 1.5
UCF's strange, dude. I mean, I really like Johnny Dawkins. I just expected them. I guess I expected more, a little bit, take another step up.
Sam says he said this: you're never as bad as you think you are, and you're never as good as you think you are.
I think they had the best combo of head coaches in Gus Malzahn and Johnny Dawkins because they are the exact same guy.
Guys who are going to make you think you're going to compete, and then
do something crazy great and then crazy. What the? They'll do both. And now that Gus is gone, I'm going to have to recalibrate that. Hang on. This kid's name is Vasar. Needs to calm down with the suction thing. Easy now. Galen, explain that suction thing. What is the benefit of that? Why do guys use it?
It's just a form of treatment to sore areas. I mean, I've used it a couple of times, and it's actually very effective, believe it or not. So,
well, I believe it. I mean, you see it enough.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about it. Granted, I haven't used it. I haven't used it for anything that except for what you're supposed to use it for. So I can't. Talk about what he was talking about.
Yeah. I think they use it to treat ringworm. Clearly, Colorado isn't as bad as you saw it last week.
It's not that
they were not bad.
That they say it's just they're as bad as
their record.
0-13 record, or now, excuse me, 1-13 record.
I mean, they're not bad though. I thought they competed.
Well, I mean, that's
a lot better than you would have expected.
That's the way this conference is. I mean, you know, any given day. They gave us all that we wanted.
Yeah, there are very few 30-plus point wins in this conference. I think Tech got one today. They won by 38. Oklahoma State. Damn. Oklahoma State. They're having a bit of a year.
Baylor pulled it out over West Virginia in overtime.
Yeah, they won in overtime. So, yeah.
It's weird, man. That's just the way this whole thing goes, dude.
I know the numbers were not great at the end of the game, but I thought for the most part, this was a very good ref crew. Arizona was attacking the glass a lot more and got more calls in the second half, but I thought they did a really good job. I was pretty happy with it. I think U of H got a fair whistle down the stretch in the Big 12 last year, and if they can get that this year, they're going to have another ring. So
yeah, I mean, you know, I think the free throw disparity was pretty much down to shot selection. They went inside a lot more. They drove the basket a lot more to draw fouls. We didn't.
Yep,
and it's just part of it.
The refs were fair. No PS hand checks or over the back calls.
I did think it was funny that they took exception. That were their fans thought that Terrence wasn't fouled. It's like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
Kid was flying through the air horizontal.
he got his elbow knocked in. I was like, yeah, that's crazy.
They were pretty upset that Vesar was called for a kind of a reach around on Jawan, and that kid's arms are longer than Javier and JoJo's. And so, I mean, he reached over Jawan's left shoulder and grabbed his right knee. And I was like, yeah, that was a foul, guys. I don't know what y'all are living with, but that's a foul everywhere I know. You shot 50% in the second half. It's 15 to 13, I believe. You can live with that, right? Right? Yeah, I thought so.
Absolutely.
Galen, it appeared to my untrained eye that Arizona was really good defending baseline out of bounds plays. You had the 5 second, but you had a couple that were deflected. They made Jawan ended up having to go into the backcourt to grab a ball that was nearly a disaster turnover. What did you see from that, or can you explain why they were so good?
Well, they have good positional size, and they had Vesar. They had him on the ball.
Yeah.
So it's like, just imagine having JoJo on the ball. It's like that's good, and you can't move. That is going to be a hard inbound every single time. So that's what they did, and they just played to their strengths. Their strengths is their length. They're a very lengthy team.
Okay.
I was like, but damn, some of them baseline out of bounds, them just had me nervous, because I'm like, man, I would be scared shitless to throw it over this dude without making it a lofty pass to where somebody else can steal it. Yeah, that's a tough task.
Yeah. Brad, you're quiet. Did you fall asleep?
No, I was just looking at the scoreboard.
Okay. Anything good nationally? Is Alabama competing?
I mean, it's
That's 6 points.
Bama's hanging there with it keeps flowing between 3 and 7 points.
Okay.
Stalking. Still first.
The national game on ABC right now is a conference game between Stanford and Duke. And that sounds so stupid still. Even
that sounds terrible. Like, what was the one last night? It was UCLA and Indiana. I'm like, these teams shouldn't ever meet.
Yeah.
Unless it's a tournament. There's no way this is a fucking conference game.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is crazy.
I think, man, the ACC, when I take a look at it, it's that conference is really falling off a cliff.
And it's not all this, but I mean, making teams travel like this is nuts.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
I mean, you're going all the way to Syracuse and down into Florida and then across the continent. I used to think that the divisions in Conference USA or the American should be closer to Asia, closer to Europe. And that's really how they have to do it in the ACC because of how stupid ass this conference is. That Stanford is at Duke. And
Stanford is in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Accurate. Galen Robinson giving you geography lessons.
Hover in the Pacific. What the fuck are we talking? No, you cannot make this shit up, bro. You are literally touching the Pacific Ocean and you're in the Atlantic Coast. Man, that is fucking crazy. That is, like, who did this? And who the fuck thought it was a good idea? That is sad. I feel
conferences
sorry.
Trying to stay alive.
I feel sorry for them kids, man. That is a very bad. I used to hate flying to UConn. I couldn't even imagine flying from coast to coast. That's 3 time zones.
Yeah. And probably have to do it a couple times a year. It's not just a one-time thing like UConn. You probably have to go and do it a few times. So it'll be interesting to see if they figure out a way to make that work, or if it just implodes, which is fine. Big 12 is in a really good spot right now.
I mean, you think of the flight for Stanford, and the start time at 3:00. You're basically playing at noon, your time.
Yesterday.
On your own body clock. It's like, what the man? That's
terrible.
Do you think they fly over the North Pole to get there, or just right
Probably.
across the continent? Yeah.
Right across.
I mean, Stanford, they probably fly on 15 different Lear jets.
They picked off schools' best teams and destroyed conferences. This was all TV and conferences trying to stay alive. The ACC
I can't
has been
blame,
fighting and fighting.
I'm not going to blame TV networks. I'm going to blame the presidents, like I always do.
So many
TV networks are sitting there saying, "Hey, we'll give you a lot of money," but it's the presidents who say yes.
Well, at some point, you have to say yes, just to stay alive. Because if Stanford and Cal did not accept the ACC, they're stuck with Wazoo and Oregon State.
We're way past. But this all started going back to the death of the Southwest Conference, going back to Miami, going to and out of the Big East. I mean, you're talking about going way, way back.
Yeah, you're looking at 1990-ish.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you go back to 83 to the Supreme Court decision with OU.
That's when it all changed.
It all changed then. And in 90, when Arkansas started flirting with the SEC, and the Southwest Conference was a perfect conference, but it is a horrible conference for television. And you're just not gonna not gonna have right. Well, I mean, when you have one state and Fayetteville, Arkansas, it's just never gonna work.
Well, especially the way that cable was being paid at that point. Back then, it was about new TV sets in different markets. You got paid X amount of dollars per TV set in a market footprint.
In the market. Yeah, and that happened up until 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was how it was worked, and now I don't know what the future is, but you're in one of the 3 stable conferences in the country now, and U of H has never been able to say that.
No.
But you chose correctly. You didn't have a ton of choices, but the people around you made it work, and this is a great spot to be in.
The 3 stable conferences are SEC, Big 12, and
Big 10.
The
SEC, the Big 12, and the Southland, maybe the Colonial. Yeah.
Fucking Ivy League.
Yeah. Hey, they're stable.
People outside the Big 12, and even some people within the Big 12 still don't like it. But the fact is that
Utah,
ain't nobody got a place to go in the Big 12. Nobody wants anybody. Big
there's
10
plenty
doesn't want anybody.
Of places,
and the SEC
there's plenty
doesn't
of places to go, but they're down.
Right.
It's the Mountain West, the Pac-12, whatever they're going to call that.
I think if some of those Pac-12 teams would have went to the Mountain West or the West Coast Conference, that would have been good for college basketball, personally.
Yeah, but it would have been terrible for TV.
So.
The Rocky Mountains, really, anywhere west of Lubbock, Texas, is bad for TV.
Yeah.
So
you see the people are. It's already starting, man. People are wanting an expansion of the tournament.
It's gonna happen. It's
like, oh great, the 13th place team in the Big 10. Woohoo! Who cares? I mean, that's about the only way Indiana's going to make it back in the tournament.
Whoa, easy. They're getting every coach they want.
Bring back Dan Dakich.
I mean, I've read Bruce Pearl and the guy from Iowa State. People have talked about Tommy Lloyd. They've talked about. I'm like, these are not realistic options.
Yeah,
Like,
If you're
who's
if
coaching
you're-
Louisiana Monroe? That's your option.
if you're a coach, I mean, if you're a coach, at
I got
good
a guy.
spot- who's that?
He's coaching down at McNeese State.
They're not going to do that.
Will
They're
Wade.
not going to do that.
Hey, Will Wade. He'll get some shit done.
He can flat out coach.
Yeah. Well, Chris Beard's an option there too, but they're not going to go that direction either.
Will Wade.
So, maybe they can get Bill Self. His career's falling apart. Maybe they could grab him.
I'm dumbfounded that Kansas is where they is, because they just got so much. Even now with talent spread out to a lot of different places, they still have a lot of really good talent on paper.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's like it's a draft, and they always get that lottery, that ball to drop, and they get the number 1 guy and the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
And what's it gotten them? But at some point, you have to change your philosophy and try to build a team instead of trying to collect the best guys. It didn't work at Kentucky for years and years. It's not working at Kansas now.
Well, I think
maybe it's time to build something.
I think it's also unfortunate.
Not Kansas.
At Kansas, I think it's an unfortunate situation where Bill Self's health might play a factor, because guys like that who are hard driving guys, who are intense, they're able to do what other people aren't. So if you have a health issue and you have to pull back just a tiny bit, you might lose a little bit of that X factor.
And at some point, it's the money too. I mean, we're talking $10, $11 million a year, $1 million a month. At some point, you don't make that extra recruiting visit. You don't make that extra phone call. You don't spend that extra hour on video.
Well, I don't think the
But I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying everything combined.
Yeah. But then, I still like to say it. They're not the only one who could cheat anymore. They're not the only one who gets to pay people.
Yeah.
Towns, I fuck with you.
Strange how that happens.
I'll fuck with you, Towns. You know what I mean? Shit. I fuck with you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
I don't know what their record is since U of H got in the league, but 28-4, and clearly much less than 28-4.
One dude who I respect, don't know him, who I know can just flat out coach just by the results he's able to get, Rick Pitino. That guy can coach, man.
Oh yeah.
That guy can coach.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know what it is, but he's got it.
Yeah. Him and Sam, the same fabric, the same woven. Yeah, they cut from that. They got the same type of DNA. Their teams play the same. Like you can tell the standard for sure.
Right.
I had dinner last night with an old friend, a guy that hired me years and years ago. And he went to Kentucky when Rick Pitino was there. And so he thinks Pitino hung the moon. And he was like, Pitino's great. He's the best. He's awesome. But this Calvin Sampson is right there. I'm like, yeah. I mean, Pitino's got the title. Respect. He's got more Final Fours, I believe. But, you've got a guy at U of H that's every bit on that level.
Oh, absolutely.
And has done it at places. I mean, Pitino walked into Louisville.
Yeah. Keep going, Ryan. I like where you're going with this. Keep going.
He walked into the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics and Kentucky and Louisville. And then Hofheinz and Washington State and OU, which had not a lot going for it.
Yeah,
He has built things,
a lot
and
more. Done a lot more with
that's
less.
that's you have to respect the people that go to the elite places and win, because there's not everybody gets to win every year. But
Well,
to
yeah, I
go
mean,
and
going
build
to
from nothing,
going to an elite place poses a different kind of
challenge, correct?
challenge, but it is a huge challenge. But when he went to Kentucky, to be fair, he rebuilt that thing. I mean, he was
Well,
it was
Joe B. Hall had some issues.
it was like it wasn't the rebuild like U of H, but he took a team that was a power and got them right back in it.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's levels, man.
Yeah. And the difference in him and Samson is, and it's different parts of the career, but he got to a point at Kentucky where he needed another challenge. So he goes back to the NBA, and then he does work there. He goes back to Louisville and needed another challenge. So he found a hooker. Anyways, but Kelvin has not faced that. Kelvin just keeps building and building. If Indiana had not come and put that, Kelvin's of a certain age. Indiana is Indiana. If they had not put that under his nose, I think he would have stayed at OU for who knows how long. Arizona had wanted Kelvin to be the next guy after Lute Olson. Like that's just on record. They wanted him. Then Lute had the heart attack, and they ended up going with an interim, and the situation was different. But he could have gone here, and that would have been wild. Who knows how many titles he has at that point. But it worked out for U of H, and Calvin is still hungry. And I don't know if that's the full difference between what Kansas is doing and what U of H is doing, but it sure as hell helps. He's not fat cat like other people. Just a thought. Samson starts at the bottom and has had to build everything. Galen, what did Samson show you when you first visited here? This is Hoffines.
Yeah, he ain't show me shit.
Those rats.
It wasn't nothing to show, but
Here, step over that water puddle. Watch out for the hobos.
Yeah, his reputation spoke for itself, and it's just so crazy how I could just vividly remember this was literally 10 years ago. Me and my sister were talking about this yesterday. She's 17, but every time I talked to Coach Samson, I learned something. And I didn't know it then, but it's like I learned something new about perspective and his demand and how he was going to hold me accountable, and how he was like, Galen, I'm going to make you earn everything, because if I give it to you, I can take it away. Everything that he said that he would do, he did, and he really stood on business with everything he told me. So it wasn't necessarily selling me on what they had, because they had nothing. They sold me on what would be. And he was like, Galen, when you go to a school, it's not a 4-year decision, it's a 40-year decision. And it's like, here I am, 6 years removed, on the best talk show about the Cougs. It's like it doesn't get, it's like everything that he said to me has came to fruition. So it's it wasn't anything to sell on anyone back then, but he spoke with such confidence and such conviction that I believed it, because he believed in me.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Hoffines. There's Frenchie's. Bus stop right here. There's Robertson. Yeah. E-Man didn't score, and we beat Arizona on the road. My weekend is made. Wouldn't have
Who would have bet
guessed
that?
on that one. No, would not. Kansas is whiffing on the transfer portal. Houston is mostly hitting the portal. Cryer, Taze, Kyler, Malik, Josh Carlton. Sorry, what did I say?
Taze.
Taze. Oh, God. I'm sorry. I'm just reading. That's on me. I'll take
Hey,
that
when
one. I'll own it.
we got him, when we signed him, I was like, "Who is this
Taze.
Taze
Who's this
Moore.
Taze
Yes,
kid from?
Bzz.
What was it, Bakersfield?"
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, "Huh? What is this?" And the first time I saw him playing it, I saw him jump, and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
there's something about
But
this."
it's crazy how I feel like our transfers work out. You know, you got a kid like Kyler who came from a program like Tech. Big Josh came from UConn. Like you're recruiting some guys who are guys. You're not just recruiting some guys and you throwing some at a wall hoping that it sticks. It's you got to recruit the right guys and you got to know what guys fit your program.
And
There's a big art to this shit.
I've asked Killen a couple of times on this show. How does he identify these guys? How does he know who are the right fits? And he walks through it and talks about it. But I think when it comes down to it, it's one of those, if you know, you know.
Yeah, I don't even think Coach Kellen knows. I think he just kind of puts it into words. But Coach Sam, he got this saying. He's like, "How do you describe the Atlantic Ocean to someone who's never seen water?" It's not something that you can necessarily put into words. It's
Right.
more so a feel. And I remember when we played UConn. UConn was Coach Kellen's scout, and he was high on Josh Carlton then.
Right.
So it's no secret that, if we're able to get this kid, we're going to pursue him because Josh, he wasn't getting the opportunities that he was worthy of at UConn. But Coach Kellen, he's seen beyond the bullshit. So yeah, it's one of those, you can't really put it into words. It's just like you said, if you know, if you got a feeling for it, you got a feeling for it. And that's just, you just got that eye.
Right. And it goes down to their philosophies that they're recruiting the individual and not the player, because everybody at this level can ball.
Yeah.
For sure. Here's a tweet from our guy Fran. Tommy Lloyd wrote on his whiteboard at practice yesterday, 2 dogs, 1 bone. Yeah. 1 bone. 2-game lead. Adequate. Dejan was also transfer accurate. Quentin Grimes transfer accurate.
A guy from Kansas, Quentin Grimes, McDonald's, and Dejan and Bryce. You got 2 guys that have Louisiana roots from. So it's like these are the right kids for us because our coaches know who they are.
Louisiana roots by way of UMass.
Man, it's by way of UMass of all places. Like Louisiana, man. Them boot boys, they've been good for us, man. That's one thing I will say.
I remember when they got Q. He looked shell shocked when he got here. He looked like he struggled at Kansas so much. He got here and he looked like he was afraid of his own shadow. But then the more he started balling, the better he looked. The better he looked.
Sometimes you just have to give a kid permission to be himself.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that was what allowed Q to continue to ascend. It's like his ceiling was so high, but he didn't know what his ceiling was. But we got a coach that's been in the NBA that's seen. What did he say? He was like, "There's only 3 people I've seen go baseline and be successful." He said Michael Jordan. I think he said Derrick Rose and Jesus. And he was like, so he just has an eye for talent, man. It's just like you got a coach that's been there, done that. He's able to instill in you what your dreams may be of yourself. It's that was really rewarding to watch how Q was able to grow in our system.
Josh Carlton was a Kevin Ollie recruit. Once Hurley came in, Josh's role decreased. He needed to get in shape and gain confidence. He was on the bench at the end of his time at UConn. He was not playing. Quentin Grimes.
How does a kid like that not play?
They just coach sours on you.
But just think about it.
And you need a restart. But he needed a restart. He needed another chance to start at 0. And he got that. Quentin is the same way. He averaged, 1 rebound a game at Kansas? And he was at 6 by the end of his second year here. He had to be reinvented. They had to break him down and build him back up. And it's the same
Coaching-
thing with Josh
coaching-
Carlton.
Coaching is overrated, man.
It really is.
Same guy, we got some good coaches, but there's no way a kid like Josh Carlton with his amount of skill and that size and that coordination and that mobility, regardless of who's the coach, there's no way he should be out of the rotation. No way.
I remember
No way.
when we got him in, he was, early on, like in the second game, I saw him make 2 or 3 moves in the post, and I'm like, we got a back to the basket guy now.
Say that again. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Big Josh
So
got some shit to him. Like, I remember watching that film. Like, there's no way he should have been on anybody's bench in the country. Not with that skill. No way.
It's hard to say, but he obviously
No, it
made the
ain't.
right decision. Well, but he made the right decision and came to a place where his talents were utilized and he was valued, and it worked out. So
I'm glad he was on
it
the
worked
bench
out
there.
for him, and
me
it worked
too.
out
I'm
for
glad
U of
he
H.
was unappreciated. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, for sure.
Kelvin Sampson needs to write a book compilation with all his sayings. They share so much wisdom in few words. So the Houston Chronicle writer, who I will not name, is actually writing this book right now. And it's going to be just a collection of Kelvin isms. And so I think you'll see it this summer. So there you go.
Shit, I might need to.
You might need to, just talk with him. See if
I
if
know
he-
exactly
if he's
what
got
you
'em all.
mean, brother.
CKS greeting cards. Yeah, I could see his Valentine's being really good.
Yeah.
Roses are red, violets are blue. What the fuck are you
Roses
doing?
are red, violets are soft. I can't win with you.
You suck. You're so bad. Yeah. That could be a lot of fun. Hey, Brad, I just got a notification that the baseball game starts soon, in 2 hours.
Oh, that was a hell of a
So, good luck.
debut. I'm interested
Yeah.
to see if they can.
As
Turn
long
it
as you
around.
can recreate that effort that you put into it last night, it could be a very long year for U of H baseball, which is not very different than it's been for the last 5 or 6.
We're at
Wait,
the
we made him
11 minute 40-second mark in the Iowa and Cincinnati game, and Iowa State is up by 4.
Yeah, you know,
Since he's hanging
Cincinnati's
around.
pretty tough. Pretty tough. At the kickoff dinner, Samson introduced Carlton as the only UConn player still playing hard in a loss to U of H, and to watch Carlton as he going to do well with U of H.
Right.
Yeah. But hey, we got
it's,
Sabathia's kid.
With Kevin Ollie, he was able to recruit a great deal of talent, but he just had a bunch of puzzle pieces that didn't make a picture, I feel like. I mean, you had a lot of guys that really weren't that compatible. So, but Big Josh, his talent was undeniable. There was, like I said, he could have been a starting 5-man anywhere in the country, period. And I stand on that with both feet.
He's the one guy, I think, if you just had one more year. Like, he's the one for me. I know
6'10",
Quentin Grimes and
mobile,
Jamal and
man,
but-
that would have been disgusting.
yeah.
Because
Disgusting.
Josh is damn near 6'11". That's a big kid,
Yeah.
and he was comfortable back to the basket. He was able to pass it out of the post decent. Like he was a very his skill set and his skill level was very underrated and very undervalued in my opinion.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was an old-timey throwback, a guy who would
Yeah,
sit in the low post and just eat it up.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Towns, I want to ask you, or at least I want to say this out loud to you. I think he was Jahlil Okafor-esque. Not as tall as Jahlil Okafor, but he was he was very skilled on that left block, very much so.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
If we could have got him 1 year sooner.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shout out Big Shots, man. Hold on, Ryan. When are we doing this? How many people we got watching, Ryan?
625 at the moment.
So when are we doing this giveaway, man?
What are you doing? What do you want to give away? What's
I
happening?
mean, I got
Just tell
two
us.
hoodies, one large. Well, I got a lot more, but I mean, I'm gonna just save them for other shows. But I got
Good idea.
A small and a large, basically.
How do you want to give them away?
You're the mastermind. I just supply the goods.
He's the cartel. You're the mule.
Yeah, man. I just bought the shit, brother. It's your job to get it out.
All right. So we need somebody who fits a small. If you're watching this, you're probably not that person. But
Well, shit. How about
It-
this? How about this? How about this? Two
I mean,
larges.
the
Two
the
larges.
this
We got two larges. We got a.
okay, that could work.
We got a boom by the boom, and we got a boom by the boom. Satin line hoodies, user versus everybody. Two larges. How about that?
Okay. Just say you want it in the chat, and we'll figure it out. I don't know how to give them away.
There you go.
I mean, if somebody is available who is an actual small, not a friend of yours or your girlfriend is, but if you're a small and you want a hoodie, go for it. We'll give that one away. How about that? But it needs to be you, not your friend. And we need visible proof. We will make you send it back.
We need y'all to subscribe
We'll make you send it back.
to onesubstantial.com because we're about to have a drop. Tap in if you're watching. But yeah, man. We got the boom with the satin line, protecting
All
your
right.
hair. And then we got the boom. We might
Cynthia-
have we're gonna have a 5X soon too, 4X's and 5X's, that just give those away as well.
Cynthia Owens is a small. Here's what you need to do, Cynthia. You need
Cynthia,
to go.
are you subscribed to onesubstantial.com?
Yeah, you really need to be. One substantial, right there. What I want you to do is to go to Twitter or to go to Facebook and find Galen.
Twitter.
And well, I'm hoping she has it, but
Yeah.
find him, send him a message, and he will make sure that happens for you.
Shout
How's
out
that?
Cynthia. I got you, Cynthia.
Okay, apparently we have a lot of smalls. I didn't realize all these women were here. How about that?
Shout out to my women, man. Shout out to my
So
cool
there's
ladies.
a large. We have sold out of the 5Xs. So if you expected a 5X,
If
there
you're
was a
expecting
run
a 5X,
on
just know
5X.
that it went to one of the three guys that are on this screen, and it's up to you to figure out who.
okay. Up. My mother said she wanted it, but she's not a small. She has one. She's fine. Mom, when we put you in the home, they're not going to let you wear that.
Somebody getting swats
It's
up there,
coming.
Ryan?
So I've been hearing it the whole time. They had the balloons behind the basket for the students, and they're popping them. So they had they
Sir,
had
may I have
something
another?
before the game. Well, the first one they did, it sounded like a shot, and I kind of ducked, but we're not in that kind of neighborhood in here. But yeah, it's that's a blanket for everyone, except
The Bradley.
she has a hoodie. She's fine.
Mama Ryan.
She'll be okay.
Mama Ryan, she cozy. She cozy
She
with the hoodies.
she's good.
Do her.
She's got that shoulder injury. She can't even put a hoodie on. We'll take care of it. We got this.
And we're gonna have dry fit shirts.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dry fit shirts.
Wait,
man.
this is okay. This
It's
is
getting about that
news.
time. It's getting about that time that that the pits need to breathe a little bit. The hoodies is our temperatures, they aren't that low this time of year. So, so it's time to get those
I think it's supposed to get cold next
breathable
week.
garments going.
I think it's supposed to get cold next week, and probably the last one for the year. Makes me sad.
Okay. Elderly people talk about the weather.
Facts.
True.
Good times. Good times.
That's who we are.
Yeah. OneSubstantial.com. Look at that. So we got to give away a large. I don't
How we
know.
gonna do
I don't
that?
know how we're gonna do that. Brad, give us a way to give away this large.
I've got a random number generator here. Pick a number between 1, and everybody pick a number between 1 and 50.
Hold on. I got this one.
Oh,
I
God.
got a number behind my back between 1 and 100. First person to guess the number wins the large. 10, 9.
All right, everybody, throw
So-
up your numbers in chat.
I'm worried that it's your butthole and it's a 0. Is it? Did I win? Is that
0.
the number? Oh, okay.
0. So how many numbers did we get, Ryan? I can't
2,
do the comments.
3.
Huh?
Well, they're still coming. There's a lag in
Hold
the
on
chat,
to
so
it.
you got to give it a
Ah,
minute. You got to give it a minute.
Okay. Well, I have my number in my head, so whoever said
Okay.
it first.
So I'm going to give it about 5 more seconds. Is the number 25?
I got you. No, it's not.
Okay, because there were some guesses of 25.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, Galen, what's the number?
We gonna let it keep going because I don't think
Okay.
anybody gets this because I said a number. It's a trick question.
Okay.
I said a
there
number
you go.
behind my back. I got 5 fingers
I don't really know what's happening.
because I put my hand behind my back and I said,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, don't give it up to everybody yet.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like we're gonna let them go. We're gonna let the comments flow. I know what the
Kelvin
number
said
is.
about Milos, I thought his swagger got better as the game went on.
Absolutely.
And he said some games will go here, some games will go there, some games will go here. Usually the game will tell you what to do. What it was telling us to do tonight was to build up Milos' confidence to the point he felt like he was magic. Pretty good.
Evan Maya
Yes, my
tweeted
friend
out
now.
a Houston kill shot flipped this game in the second half. This Cougar squad will never quit. People are still disrespecting them, but they are the number 2 team at evanmaya.com. He's been on us for a long time.
Well, numbers wise, U of H is always there.
Yeah.
Turns out a lot of other ways too. Yeah. Okay, so the chat is all just numbers, random numbers.
Okay, wait.
And I'm not gonna-
I think
I'm
I
not
see
gonna-
who got it first. I think we see who got it first. Since it was already guessed, the number was 2, and it's Gian Carde. I can't see. Yeah. So that's the first person that I could see that had the number 2. So yeah, my boy is the winner. Or my person they are the winner. Great show, guys.
Yep, doing great. Ryan, are you going to cover I don't even know. It's a TV show. I don't know what to do. I'll be there, but I don't know how to cover it. I'll be there. Are we hyped for game day, or is it just a big distraction? I don't think the players, they'll know about it, but they won't have anything to do with it. It'll be fine. I don't think it's a big deal. U of H has to get off the losing streak on College Game Day, which is at 1, thanks to one person on the screen. The only person to lose with College Game Day at the arena, that's on this screen. Yeah. U of H had a small by game day crowd last time around. U of H wants to avoid that again. You don't get picked for these things, and you look bad nationally. I've never watched game day. I just don't care. I mean, they're going to talk about the SEC and the ACC and the Big East, and eventually, oh, by the way, the Big 12. Whatever. But this is a kind of a showcase moment for U of H, and fans should be there. Make sure you don't go to Frenchie's afterwards, because I don't want to wait in a line. But be there for game day. That'd be helpful.
Hold on, Ryan. I need to make an announcement. So
Uh-oh.
the guy Gian,
Yeah.
can we find out if he lives in Houston? Because if he does, I'm gonna give him a hand-to-hand delivery.
That means he's too cheap to pay for shipping.
No, not at
Too
all.
cheap to pay for shipping.
Here, he's just going.
I feel like it costs
he
more
goes.
than gas.
He's a man of the people. He'll go where you're at.
It's like, yeah, Gian, I'm pulling up on you, bro. So just go hit me on
Gian,
Twitter at
hit him on Twitter. There you go.
Robinson1. Yeah, I'm pulling up on you for sure.
There you go.
Today.
I don't know what that pulling up means.
Pulling up means
Yeah.
I will come to your residence
There you go.
or your
That
preferred
works.
destination to deliver the goods.
Told y'all. He's the cartel.
Hope you're subscribed, Gian. I'm gonna have to cancel your fucking.
He says, I stay near campus. So there you
Perfect.
go.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I don't have-
hit me on Twitter or fuck call it that. Hit me on Twitter. G_Robinson1. And I'm gonna get you right, man. Tell me if you want the red or the blue.
Okay. We'll make that work. Galen for president.
So
Thankfully, you have to be 35. And, I think that would be really terrible.
I'd be tremendous.
Yeah.
So this week is going to be a nice mental test,
What do you mean
physically
this
as
week?
well. Do what?
Explain.
Well, they're flying home right now, and then
Yeah.
they're back out to, is it Tempe?
Arizona. Yeah, Tempe on Tuesday or Monday.
Back at Arizona State now.
Game Tuesday.
We think we should run through Arizona State. They're 3-10, but if you watched them against Texas Tech this week, they're dangerous. They're dangerous.
They had
With
a lot
college
of
game day,
opportunities in
with
that game.
college game day coming on Saturday, and you got Iowa State, and we've got title in our eyes. Better not overlook this one.
And then you turn around and go to Lubbock for a Monday night game.
Not worried about that. That I have
Well,
no.
no, I'm saying like in a 9-day stretch, you have 3 games, 2 back-to-back, no practice days in between because you fly out Sunday.
Brutal. Damn, I don't know if they should. That's not a long flight, is it? That's about what, 2 hours?
2 hours on a jet, on a private. They're
But
flying out of
Time
Tucson
zones and,
straight to Hobby.
man, I don't know.
I think that the overall, it's a good thing right now. Sleep in your own bed for 2 nights. You get to eat the food in your facility versus catered into a hotel.
I
you get
prefer
treatment
us.
at home.
I prefer us away for some reason.
Well,
Like,
they'll
that's
be
just-
away.
That cocoon, that's you get used to the rims of the other. Like, that's just me though. I fuck with us regardless, but it's just like us being away and being away from everything that we are familiar with. I like our mentality and our mindset in those circumstances.
So on the rims thing, they did not get to practice in this building yesterday because Arizona
looked like
is
it.
one of those schools that has gymnastics. They had a gymnastics meet last night. So they got to practice in the practice facility, which was cut in half. So they only got half of the practice facility, which the way they run a practice, that's not conducive.
Still find a way to win. Unbelievable.
People are talking about the Monday night game in Lubbock. Everybody has to do that. Baylor had to come for a Monday night game. Kansas is going to have to come to U of H for a Monday night game. It's just the way it is. And
Welcome to the
it's
Big
a
12.
beautiful standalone Monday night. I mean, it's a big damn deal to play in those. And if you notice, U of H is stacked late in the year with those games because they knew U of H was going to be in this spot. I think that's
I don't know
exactly
if they
what you
thought
want to do.
that.
You don't think they put U of H in 3 of the last 4 weeks on Big Monday because they thought U of H was going to be a top team?
We're not. I don't feel like the media is fans of us.
Well, it's not the media; it's the conference.
Them either.
The media don't make the schedule
Yeah,
because I'm going to tell you right
think the
now,
conference is fans of us either. But maybe
U of H would play 20 games in Houston if I made the schedule. I am tired of this tribal stuff.
Me too.
How many nights a year are you in a hotel? I mean, how many road games do y'all play? Home games? Is it about 40
We've
each?
had several week-long road trips even this year, and we have like a 9-day road trip coming up on Monday. So it's just been I haven't even really been in Birmingham this calendar year. Even in the regulars, like in the end of 2024, it was always a road trip. Always. So it's like you spend a lot of time, you get a lot of points. We spend a lot of time in hotels and different beds and shit, and it's just traveling and playing, that shit is very, very tough, let alone across time zones.
Yeah. That's the part of being an assistant coach that would just wreck me is the travel, the recruiting travel, the showcase and the tournaments and the everything else. It just wears me out, and I am doing nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
And
It's
playing
always
could
funny
be-
to me whenever our coaches talk about like how they feel. And it's just like, if y'all feel like that, and we're the ones that's actually picking up 94, shit. Imagine how we feel. You just yelling. Shit, we yelling and picking up.
we just yelling.
Shit. Like, man, like, but
Y'all
I mean,
just drawing shit on a whiteboard.
I mean, yeah, but it's like shit. That's why it's hard to win a game, man. That's why it's hard to win, regardless of where you're playing. It's hard to win a game.
Is travel tough on your mental health? Again, all I do is sit here, and yes, Galen, I am sure this is. Well, go ahead and answer this question, and I have another.
I mean,
one for you.
yeah, it's like it'd be times you land and you're ready to take a nap, but you got to go to practice. And it's like nobody in the organization wants to practice, but you got to do it anyway. And it's just like then the next day you got a game, and it's so strenuous, like physically, mentally the most, because you're having to think when you don't want to think and shit. Like, but it just takes its toll. And that's why I'm glad now that we're getting this break, because I needed to be liberated from thinking about basketball. But unfortunately for our team, 10 weeks, 2 games a week, they don't really get no fucking break.
Mm-mm.
So I really can't complain if they doing it.
Yeah. Has your league, the G League, been proactive with this mental health wise? I
What do you
think the NBA has just
Yeah.
understanding and helping you with whatever they
But
can.
they give you the resources, but a lot of times dudes are too macho to reach out and get
Right.
help. So it's, but it's there.
Okay.
I could say I'm probably one of those dudes, but I've been Samsonized, so something's wrong with me mentally, clearly. But yeah, they give you the resources that you need to withstand whatever adversity you face. But a lot of times guys just don't really take advantage.
Imagine traveling on a minor league. Here we go.
Literally, shit is.
Imagine
Hey, I can't
traveling.
lie. The shit takes all day.
Well,
shit
you haven't
takes
done it as
all
a minor
day.
league baseball player. I think Brad walked one season from town to town. He
Well, let's
was
see.
at
We went from
independent ball
we went from Springfield, Ohio, got in
to sub-Saharan Africa on a bus.
Springfield, Ohio to what was it? Johnstown, Pennsylvania. I don't know. There was multiple overnight 10 to 15 hour road trips. Then you get it, you roll into the hotel at sunrise, and then go take a nap, and then you're back out at the park at 4:30, for a 7 o'clock game. Go through the process, play a 3-game set. Make sure I go to take my per diem and get my 5 for 5 at Arby's. Get the worst food possible. And then,
For that lifestyle, yeah.
getaway day, game's over with at 8 o'clock, or the game's over with at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Then
You're
back
already
on
packed.
it, another 10 to 12 hour road trip.
Yeah.
Sitting in a little bitty ass bus, or not a little bitty bus, but little bitty ass seats on a bus with 25 guys, 30 guys.
I was at U of H last Sunday, and softball opened last weekend, and so they had a tournament with, I think, 4 teams, and St. John's was one, and somebody from California maybe, and Louisiana Monroe. And outside of Fertitta Center in the back alleyway was the ULM bus, and it was 7 o'clock at night, and the bus was there. The players were starting to get on the bus. They were going to bus all the way back to Monroe, which is on a bus 6.5, 7 hours, and then probably have to be in class Monday morning. That, and I mean, this is when you play it somewhere like Louisiana Monroe, this is every weekend. You hear about SWAC baseball, football players having to take a bus from Atlanta to Houston to play a football game.
That's just like
And
11 hours, 12 hours.
Yeah. And if there's any issue, you're getting there 7 a.m. the morning of the game. And then as soon as the game's over, getting back on that bus. And this is my aisle seat on Southwest, not a problem compared to what some of these people go through. But
That's tough.
I'm also quite a bit older. So fuck all of you. It's hard.
But yeah, I mean, it sucked. It sucked to go through, but it was also fun.
The best time of your life.
And well, that's what I think. When I miss playing, I don't miss the game itself. I miss stuff like that. Killing on the bus,
Being with your
whether
guys.
we're
It was
pissed
the
off or
most
celebrating
fun.
a win.
It was the most fun after a win.
Yeah.
Oh man, that flight from ECU, that flight from UConn, that shit was the best. Man.
Yeah.
But flying there, you could just tell, like, even with our coaches, they were kind of like, let's get through practice. You know, granted, there was a standard to uphold, but it's just like, if you can visit, I can remember, like, seeing how they were affected. And, you know, it's like they still did their job. But that win, while having to go through all of that, that made it worth it, 100%.
Starnes Leland, a name I seem to remember. Sometimes I forget Jawan is only a month older than me. He plays like a 37-year-old power forward in 2005.
Ain't too many of those. But yeah, J1 plays with such a wisdom. Like he just has such an intelligence about his game. He knows who he is. So it's just like, you can respect a guy that plays within himself, and he's able to do that at a high level.
There was a point in the second half, I think it was right at the 12-minute timeout, he was huffing. He was dog-ass tired. And they went down the floor, and a guy was starting to get to the lane. Jawan knew that the next whistle was immediate timeout, and he just fouled the shit out of him. It was like, I have no fouls. I just fouled the fuck out of that guy because I need to go sit on my little chair
Vet.
for my 3 minutes. That is a vet move. So, good for him. Like that guy. The good questions about the mental health. I really like that.
I can't see it.
That's fine. It was DeAnthony Jones, my guy, played football for U of H. He was the first guy to do a mental health piece of content with us, and he was awesome. And his son turned 3 today, Prince, and got to text with him. Love that guy. Hope to have him with us for football season this year. My mother's sending me movies. I don't really understand, but Mama, yeah. I didn't realize they had movies in the home. What else do we have? People are worried about the health of Emmanuel Sharp. I'm going to tell you, I see Emmanuel a couple times a week in practice. I see him shooting pregame. There doesn't seem to be just a general health issue.
Yeah.
It's getting in a game and getting bumped, and sometimes it doesn't go well. He did not play well today, and he got poked in the eye. He was falling down. He got hit in the eye, and I don't think he ever came back after that.
But man, he'll be all right, man. There's a big difference between playing at home against an unranked team versus playing on the road against a traditionally a Power 5, usually top 25 team.
Right.
So
Who
if that's
is
your
game planning
second,
for you?
but it's like if that's your second game back from injury, that game is going to feel a lot different because it's not really going to be like on your terms. The
Right.
environment, the atmosphere, all that's going to come into play. And it's just like, as great as our student athletes are, they're still human and they're still kids. Like they're not Hercules when it comes to, just they're not that. So next game he'll be better. He'll probably be a little healthier. And he will probably, if there's anybody who's able to assess their performance based on their abilities, there's nobody better than Emmanuel himself. So there'll be a lot of shots got up between now and the next game, regardless of how short of a time period it is, and he'll probably be better.
Yeah, he missed shots today.
Yeah, he just missed. We all thought everyone was going in.
If two of those go in, it's not even a conversation, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. I think if he's really hurt, they'd shut it down because they know that this is not the most important time. A month from now, if the shots keep ringing out,
it's that time of the year. Everybody's
everybody's banged. Everybody's
hurt.
going through the same thing. So
there's a big difference between being hurt and being injured.
Yeah,
everybody's hurt.
Coach Samson got this saying: his son, pain is an opinion.
That is true.
Some people have a high opinion of pain. Some people have a low opinion of pain.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is.
Pain don't hurt.
Galen, Brad, were you surprised Caleb Love wasn't more aggressive down the stretch?
Personally, I just feel like he was playing to what he felt like he could do. If he would have had better success from the 3-point line, I think he was 1 for 7, 1 for 8, whatever the case may have been, we would have seen a different form of him. There wouldn't have been a shot that if he saw daylight, he wouldn't have took. But because he missed all those shots that, he's capable of making, it probably in crunch time, you kind of want to do what's best for the team. But if he was on, their coaches would have been breathing confidence into him. And, those shots would have been what was best for the team. But thank God he was off. And I like to think that our defense probably has something to do with that. So, if we
They probably game planned for him a little.
Yeah, just a little bit. The best player on the opposing team.
He went 6 of 15 with 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
7 assists.
But it's like even still,
I don't think I realized
he was still aggressive while not having the offensive success that he probably would have preferred. So. Yeah. That's a tough kid. That's a mentally tough kid. He
isn't he like 40? Isn't he like 40 like J1?
Him and Jawan went to played Little League together. Yeah.
Not the Little League.
And by the way, everybody was bitching about U of H's 3-point shooting. He ended up quite a bit better than Arizona.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't just realize. But U of H was Arizona was 5 of 23, and U of H was 5 of 17. So
the funny thing about Coach Samson, he's so superstitious. I know he was irate that he couldn't practice in the gym they were playing in the night before the game.
Oh yeah.
I'm willing to bet my life and everything that comes there. I know he was irate.
We all know that he's superstitious, that there are certain things that happen, and they always happen when you're on a winning streak. I was on the floor before the game, and Lauren Sampson told me when she was in college, if she went on a road trip and lost, she didn't get to go to the next one. She had nothing to do with what was happening on the field, on the court. But she was like, I got to keep going as long as we kept winning.
Yeah.
That's some superstition.
Yeah. So I couldn't even imagine his I couldn't even imagine.
Why weren't they allowed to? There was a gymnastics meet.
Yeah.
And that's why they didn't.
That was probably fucking on purpose.
They had a gymnastics meet on purpose. That's next level thinking.
I mean, with scheduling and shit and how it's, you never like.
Well, if you're playing in one arena and you've got gymnastics and women's volleyball or women's basketball and men's basketball, you gotta, and it's a weekend, you gotta kind of figure it out. You know, that's one of the hard things about doing the scheduling stuff. Is that,
and then and then it happens to us, of all people.
Yeah, and tomorrow they host a women's basketball game. So it was gymnastics, men's basketball, women's basketball, back to back to back this weekend. So
I get their women's opponent. Their women's opponent is going to get to practice in the gym that they're playing in tonight.
Yeah, they'll probably be here shortly. It'll be TCU.
Yeah. Maybe I'm tripping.
Maybe you are. I'm going to ask a dumb question, but did U of H women's basketball win today? They're at Colorado, and I don't even know if they played yet, but it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like they've played. Okay, so haven't lost.
I mean, I'm not even going to look it up, but I would roll the dice and say probably not.
Yeah, you never know. They're
Shout out
struggling with injuries. They got
Blair.
5 or 6.
Shout out Layla Blair.
Yeah, they're playing with, I think, 6 healthy players right now. It's hard to do. Do you think we'll lose Hollis or Quantas after the season? I think it's Quantas, and I would be shocked if it wasn't Louisiana Lafayette. I think it's such a natural fit, and there is a hotbed of talent in that area. And Quantas and Hollis both, their name still rings out in South Louisiana.
Yeah. And not only is it talent, they relate to the talent.
Oh, yeah.
So it won't even be hard for those guys to recruit those guys, because chip on your shoulder, like that's who they are. And that's who those kids are. So, but regardless, wherever Q goes, he knows the formula. He's been a winner his entire career, whether it's been playing or coaching. So he got it, man. I don't feel like there's anybody that is more deserving than Coach Q to get an opportunity to run his own program the way he wants to run. So, yeah, he's
had that opportunity. He's chosen to stay here. I mean, he's in the position where he gets to choose where he goes, but he's also so well paid that most of those jobs would be a pay cut. I think Louisiana will pay about the same, but it's a job where he knows he can win and win at that level.
And it's like also with Q is like he's a great family guy. His daughter just graduated high school this year, so it's just like it's, you know, if he leaves, it wouldn't be a surprise. If he doesn't, cool, but he's ready. Yeah. I really do think he's ready to kind of spread his wings and run his own program. So you know, best of luck to him if he does. I'll be rooting for him, but yeah, he's very deserving for sure.
For sure. All right, let's wrap this up, and I'm going to get on the road back to Phoenix. Brad Towns, what did you see today?
Huge win, championship caliber win.
Facts.
That's what ballers do. I mean, you got to win those games like that to give yourself a shot at winning a title. And this is one of those where experience and guts won out. That's what this team does. So let's get back home heal up, rest up, get some of that good star pizza, and get ready to go back out on Tuesday and tear it up.
Galen.
Same thing. Shit, on to the next one. And I don't know if the Coach Q, Quantas, his bio on Twitter, at least when I was playing for him, was find a way to win with an exclamation point. And that's what we're able to do tonight or today. It doesn't matter how the win comes, pretty or ugly. Shit, I don't give a fuck as long as we win. So we were able to do that today. On to the next one. We got a couple of big games ahead. So like I said, we're still on our march, and we're still in control. And if as long as we win, we control our destiny in this conference.
Apparently, the Alabama-Auburn game is just going total drunk. It's tied. Auburn was up 11 last I saw.
Yeah, they're at
Alabama.
Alabama.
Full-blooded three by Pettiford.
Coleman, yeah. What's that popping sound in the background? They're popping the balloons that they use behind the goal in the student section.
Liar.
And,
they're getting SWATs.
That's a lot of damn balloons.
Arizona
Because it's
team's
been
getting
happening
SWATs
for
for
20
losing.
minutes.
They thought they were about to win.
Yeah.
Pop 'em. God damn it.
Whack.
What needs to happen to bring women's basketball where the men's program? Well, it's
Kelvin
never gonna happen.
Sampson, I would say.
Never going to happen.
It's a good place to start.
Gino Ariema has to come to Houston, is what it takes. Pat Summitt has to be dug up. Leon Barmore. I mean, that's where you're at. You need.
Ryan, you're a sick human.
Well, I mean, you're not going to get that from.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, you're a sick human though.
You fell ass backwards into Kelvin Sampson. He happened to be in Houston, working for the Rockets. He happened to be coming off the NCAA penalty. You happen to need a coach. I mean, this was not he came here because it was the perfect fit. It's where he could go.
We needed a person that would, both of us would be willing to take the risk.
Huh? You said what, Thomas?
We needed a coach that was really, really good, but both of us would need to take a risk.
Yeah,
we had to take a risk on him. He had to take a risk on us.
And he said it a million times that he had no clue how bad the situation was before he got here.
I feel like he took the bigger risk was him
for
on
sure,
us.
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
He had the reputation to lose. I mean,
Yeah,
I agree with you
did not.
somewhat. It's like, yeah, it was. But I remember he used to tell us, it's like, man, these coaches weren't even put in position to succeed because of the facilities and everything that surrounded it. It's
the budget.
You didn't give these guys a fair chance. And that's why, like, when he recruited me, he told me that I have certain things in my contract to where if they're not met, the contract is voided. I'll terminate it.
Yeah.
So like he forced U of H to kind of meet him to where he wanted to be met.
We may have talked about this on this show. I don't know, Galen, but in around 2001, there was a group of alums that had to get together and raise money to buy U of H basketball a fax machine. They could not get commitments because they didn't have a fax machine. And you're to the point where they're on a private jet right now, going back to Houston for 2 nights to come back out to this state in their still kind of brand new facility, brand new basketball practice facility, renovated already.
It's
night and day where it was with Ray McCallum and Tommy Penders and James Dickey, Clyde, Alvin Brooks. I mean, even Pat Foster. You never did anything to care for your arena, and it was 50 years old. And, you never put any money into it. And so, but go ahead.
is you can say whatever you want to say about the guy. When I say the guy, I mean Kelvin Sampson. But
Mm-hmm.
whatever you say, it has to include winner. The guy
Yeah.
knows how to win. The guy knows what it takes to win, and that's just who he is.
Today was win 785. So probably early next season, he gets to win 800, which is a huge number. And, he was out of the game for 6 or
I don't
whatever
even know if I
years.
played 800 games.
You haven't.
That's crazy.
I mean, that would take for you 20 or 40 games a year for 20 years.
I mean, but AAU, you might play
Yeah,
3
but-
games in a day.
Yeah.
8 games in a
for
weekend.
20 years.
But let alone wins though. Yeah, that's
Yeah. But to go back to his comment about women's basketball, I mean, they are in good position to hire a good coach, but to expect it to be on the level of Kelvin, it's just not going to happen. You're going to hire a quality assistant coach from somewhere, or a small school like SFA, like you just did in soccer, and build it. And it just has not been that. And you have had a long runway where you're at now, and they've had some crappy injuries, but it's been 11 years or 10 years or whatever. It's time. It's going to happen.
He's been there for 2. Damn.
Yeah. If a bench spot opens up, maybe Brooks comes back. I don't see that happening.
He's driving that ship over there.
Yeah, his next job is retired, I think. I mean, he's at an age where, he's in his 60s. I believe he's near the same age as Kelvin. I mean, Alvin took the head job here in 1992. He's 65. So, yeah, I don't think he'll be coming back here. You want younger guys. You want guys that
Fresh.
and Kellen is probably hiring. If not hiring, he's going to have a big say in who that next guy is. And maybe you bump up Ryan Elvin and make him that third assistant. But Anthony Goldwire has a shot at that. Hollis, I believe, is not considered an assistant coach. He's in a different role, so he might be bumped up. I mean, it could go a couple different ways. But
Or Ryan,
you
bump up Galen Robinson.
No.
Who knows?
If there's an assistant coach in charge of podcasting and other related content, maybe, but I don't think that's a thing. I don't know if Towns died or what just happened, but
Do what?
yeah,
I don't know. Y'all got
exactly.
talking about women's basketball, and I fell
He
asleep.
a snoozing zombie. He over there just
Yeah. Hey, my favorite moments of U of H basketball are when Javier starts dribbling. There's a lot of elbows in that dribble.
And knees.
Now there's some knees too.
very limby dribble.
Yes.
I was
That-
at
Got
Lamar.
that used car balloon flopping all over the place.
When Alvin was guarding Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars went to McNeese, played for the Pistons.
We know.
Yeah. Well, in Lake Charles, when I was growing up, the Pistons won the world title in, I think, 89. And businesses in Lake Charles put "Congratulations, Joe Dumars" billboards all over town. It was like the only billboard in the entire city for 2 years. So
All right.
wasn't a lot going on in Lake Charles when I was growing up.
Yeah.
My final thoughts on this game are: this is massive. U of H fans are so accustomed to winning road games that sometimes they forget how big they are. You beat Kansas on the road. You beat Arizona on the road. This is pretty damn big. You still have Arizona State on the road, and then you go to Texas Tech and Baylor to end the year in your road games. But you're at 7 wins already on the road. Maybe one other team gets to that in this conference. just let's look at the standings real quick. Road records. Texas Tech probably going to get to it. Maybe Arizona does, but no one else. That's pretty damn good. And you still got 3 really good chances. I think if you go 10-0 in the road, you're probably going to win the league. It's just my guess. I've said that before, and I'm still confident. If you're 10-0 on the road, you win it.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
Thank you.
Thought.
You know, you can go somewhere else and get analysis, or you can come here for that. And I think that's really the right choice. Coach chose U of H. Houston coach needed each other. True. He brought back a sleepy giant. True. Look at the program you have now. True. A statue for Coach Samson. And one of the best programs in the country for U of H. U of H is so bad at statues that I'm just going to say no statue. Because they're all so
would end up
awful
looking.
looking.
It would look like
Yeah.
the Cristiano Ronaldo statue.
Yeah, just no statues. They're so bad.
It would be
And
bad.
I mean,
with
put his
U of
picture
H's
as
penchant
big
to
as you
half-ass
can.
everything. No.
And I mean, even you could put his face at mid-court, and that'd be fine with me. Like, just put it on the court. No logo, just him. But no statues. No statues. The statues are terrible. I don't know who they go to do it, but it could be better. Smash the like button. There you go. Go to the YouTube page and just hit like. Hit the little, what's it called, Brad? The bell?
Yep.
The ding?
Get notified every time we upload something. You'll see usually some interviews during the week, maybe some shorts pop out at you.
Brian, what time Big One going on? Coming on live tomorrow? What time?
At the same time we do it every Sunday, or most every Sunday, 8 o'clock.
Say less.
Sundays.
I'm there. I'm there.
Galen Robinson is committed to Sunday night with Juwan Roberts. Brad, do you have better plans?
No.
Brad Towns is committed to Sunday night with Juwan Roberts. I'm a game time decision. I just might find something better to do.
It's like the pig and the chicken. One's involved, the other's committed.
Yeah, you feel? Yeah.
I was so worried where that was going to go. But that works.
You heard Coach Sam talk, man. Oh.
Yeah. All right. Waiting for that email from One Substantial. Hey, Galen, I can't DM you on Twitter. Going to do it through Instagram. That'll work for him. Forget about that. Anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. GoCoogs.com, OneSubstantial.com, CougFans.com. We've made this pretty big. This is a great atmosphere tonight.
Tap in with us, y'all. Tap in with us.
Thank y'all so much. Sometimes you're the statue. Sometimes you're the pigeon. I'd be okay with the statue of a pigeon. But just put
Ryan
Cody's
in the show.
face on the floor.
In the show.